Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to the Big Think Dimension with Dan. Video games. I hope you like our brand new segment, What Spam Have We Been Eating? Chris Wolfhard.
Cough. Hack.
And Dr. Agro.
There is no cause for alarm.
Here on GigaBoots. It has only now occurred to me I gave no one a heads up that Bob wouldn't be here.
Oh, fuck.
We knew internally, so it didn't seem strange.
Oh my god, right. There was no announcement. Holy shit.
That is fucking bad. I should get better at this.
Didn't we do this as a bit last week?
Maybe.
Holy shit. Bob is still sick. I am still sick, but I am mostly recovered. I have not yet reached the reborn status of Dan video games, which is probably for the better. Bob's still sick. By the way, it was COVID.
Yeah, that's the joke.
That's the joke.
That's the 2020 throwback joke.
That's the joke. Anyways, I'm very excited to try all the flavors of fucking spam they put on a store shelf near me week to week. Maybe Agro can be the treat defender. Agro, you got any treat takes?
Treat takes?
Yeah.
Oh, treat.
Yeah, like armor treat.
I have not associated myself with that brand in any capacity.
What about a Walmart brand? What about generic brand spam?
I don't think there is a great value spam, is there?
I think there is.
I think so.
I think there is.
Oh my god. Look, this is coming from a guy who admitted eating cat food on the last episode of GigaBoots.
Yeah,
no, thank you.
Great value original luncheon meat.
Yes.
I don't know what kind of luncheons y'all are going to.
They're very affordable.
Is there a legal difference, like a distinction between luncheon and lunch meat?
I wonder.
I don't know.
There's got to be something there, right? Some sort of culinary distinction?
Yeah, those rules are it's like cracking open an official, like, long format Magic the Gathering rule book. They are dense.
I'll have to try some because apparently in terms of ingredients it is almost identical. And all the nutritional information is also so assuming there isn't some horrible difference in texture, they should probably be pretty equivalent.
Like it turns out spam is technically classified as medicine, so they had to hit him with the generics law.
I mean, spam's damn near 100 years old at this point. I'd be surprised. Like, you probably
public
make that
domain.
Shit. Yeah.
This meat is public domain. The people have claimed it for their own. Yeah, it's just boiling shit and smashing it into a can. What was there to hide? What's the trade secret? I
don't know. I feel like you're downplaying one of the most formidable revolutions in food storage technology in human history.
Well, yeah, because that was decades ago.
It's just the wheel, you guys.
It's just the fucking wheel, you guys. Calm your tits. Yeah, so you brought up Magic the Gathering, long rules or whatever. I got to witness another streamer go through the same thing I went through. I was like, yeah, I played Magic the Gathering back in the day. And they went, what rule set? And I go, so we only had one. They're like, so have you ever tried Commander? I'm like, I don't even fucking know what that is. Do you understand? Do you understand? I stopped playing Magic the Gathering in 1998.
That was back before formats.
Right. It was so I got to see another streamer be yeeted into that hole in the ground that is that conversation between a side that cannot envision there was only one rule set and a side that had no idea they ever invented other rule sets. It's always really good. I picked up a couple like booster packs and shit from later editions. But I mostly stopped somewhere around Exodus. Aggro, you were into Magic the Gathering for a small bit, right?
Yeah, I'll like every few years, like I was playing a little bit when Innistrad was happening.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool. A friend of mine actually just ordered, like you can apparently order fake cards from services as long as you're not playing them in tournaments.
Right. Okay.
So he ordered fake prints of an entire Innistrad cube.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I can't wait to dig into that thing.
Yeah, proxies. That is what they called them even back then. Yes. I like that people think we're going to kill the timer today during Big Thing. And I'm like, this is a tiny Big Thing. Fucking nothing happened this week, and one of our hosts is dead. Or, at home feeling like shit, which is much more accurate.
Yeah. I've actually played some of those newfangled formats. They're neat.
Yeah, they seem interesting. I have that part of my brain that won't let me go back. Addictions run deep in my family pool, so I tend to not really indulge them.
That's why my friend ordered that cube. That is a very distinct, these are all the cards we need. We can just play with these for a long time.
Yeah. I thought it was really cool when I went to look up, because while this streamer was having this conversation, I thought it'd be interesting to find out what the year was that Exodus came out. So on Wikipedia or whatever, they have the logos and insignias for all of those editions in the spreadsheet. And I was like, oh, that's tight. It's just really cool to see these editions with the proper insignias and shit. It was incredibly confusing, though, when you first go to the thing. They just want to give you the numbered editions at first, like at the top. You have to scroll all the way past that to get to the interesting shit, like Tempest and Exodus and whatever. But yeah, those logos are really cool. I like Magic the Gathering. I don't want to go back, though. My problem is I want to play Magic the Gathering, but I don't want to go back in.
You should do what I've done a couple of times, which is grab a friend, buy 6 booster packs, and just do a Winston draft.
A Winston draft?
Yes. You take 6 booster packs, you open them up, you shuffle them together, you make a stack, and then 3 piles. And it's basically like you pick up the first card from the pile. Like, if you don't want it, you put it back, put a new card on top of it. You go to the second pile. If you don't want it, put it back, put a new card on top of it. And then you pick up the third card. Doesn't matter if you want it, that's the card you've got now. Okay. And every time you go to a stack, there's another card in it. So second player will take up the first pile and be like, oh, do I want these 2 cards? No, put them both back, put a new one on the stack. Yeah, it's a 2-player draft format that's really neat.
That is neat. Chris, were you ever into Magic the Gathering or any card game?
I've been into Yu-Gi-Oh! Intermittently over my life. I was into Magic the Gathering for a little while. I never bought new Magic product, though. I went on eBay and just be like, my mom's making me throw out my cards. Here's 800 cards for $20. And then whatever I could make with that was my deck.
Hell yeah. Tell Dan about that friend you had who used to loan you decks so he could beat on you with his sliver deck.
Yeah, that happened. That was Cornbread Pockets.
Man, who would do that?
Who would do that, Dan?
Who would do that, Dan?
I have no idea. This is fucked up. I'm sick. You can't attack me. This is bullshit.
I should probably... Most people I know who play Magic the Gathering now do it through Tabletop Simulator, which doesn't involve spending money, so it probably seems like, beyond Tabletop Simulator.
Right.
Which seems like a much smarter way to go about it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I also do I like Yu-Gi-Oh! Intermittently. Its power creep is so... the point where I was like, the game is fast enough was at this point 15 years ago.
Okay.
And it's not like it didn't, it's not like it stopped. Like it even got to the point they're like, the anime is about a new game now.
Oh.
Because we don't. Like, they were like, we can't fucking fix this.
That's really funny coming from the perspective of Magic the Gathering that some other card game got so fucked that they're like, new game.
Well,
We're just
because Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't rotate sets.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! It was actually, that was part of the contract with the author for making the game, was that they cannot ban considering he passed, I have no idea what the fuck the status quo is now. But part of it, and this is alleged, so I don't have hard confirmation, but enough people who would know have told me, so I take it as gospel. It was, they can't have too many cards banned, and they can't rotate because the author didn't like the idea of some kid being told he couldn't use his cards.
Yeah, I get that. I get coming from that space. Wizards of the Coast don't give a fuck for Magic the Gathering.
Yeah,
No,
I mean, Magic the Gathering doesn't have recommended retail pricing anymore. It's contraband now. You charge what people will pay.
Wow.
Shit, even back in the day, like before Hasbro, Wizards was just using the ridiculous amount of money Magic made to fund all of their other projects.
Yeah, for me...
Yeah, at this point, if I really feel like a card game, I'll probably just see if Hearthstone does anything for me still.
Yeah, I did want to try that.
I really liked Hearthstone for a while, and then it kind of got bogged down into cards that generate other cards randomly from a pool, because it's a digital card game.
Right.
You can do that. But that, like, if I can't even remotely begin to predict what cards you have based on what you've played, that tends to cause a problem. And then Runeterra, like, sped run that. The moment I dropped Runeterra was like the second or third like expansion, where it's like, this card makes their champion, or whatever the fuck they call monsters in Runeterra, completely invincible. I'm like, okay, what do I do about that? Well, it's like, well, there's these 2 cards in the entire game that can deal with that. You better be carrying one. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. Now, goodbye.
Which one's Runeterra? Who makes Runeterra?
That's the League of Legends one.
Okay, there we go. An Artifact is the
Artifact
Valve one.
Well, Dan, here's how you know that Artifact is the Valve one. Because here's how you know that Artifact isn't the one I was playing, because nobody's ever played that, and nobody ever will.
Yeah, no, it's true.
My God, I downloaded that Pokemon card game phone app from the last Nintendo show.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Okay,
it is that app is repellent to use.
What is wrong with it?
It's covered in useless animations. It runs shitty. Every time I tab out to do something, I'm no longer logged into the server, even if I'm not doing anything online.
You've got to be fucking kidding me!
Yeah, I literally, I don't remember which one it was. I downloaded it during an episode of Big Think to check it out, and deleted it before that episode was over.
What in the fuck?
Oh, and I kind of think Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel is bad, because that game is not meant to be digital. Because the way it flows in a digital format, that means they have to, like, verify with each player like 15 times a turn, because there's so many points where you can do your interrupts.
Okay, people in chat are saying that is the old app. The new one's still not out. Oh my God. Okay, well, given that that's how the old one is, the one that Aggro's using, that would make sense why they're trying to fucking replace it. That is unusably bad. If your phone has to be focused on the app to not disconnect from the servers, that's virtually unusable. What the fuck? So, does anyone know any ETA for the new version of the Pokemon trading card game thing? Did they give any sort of ETA on that shit? 2024 still. Okay, great. Running out of months. Okay. For me, I don't know why. I think by the time Yu-Gi-Oh came around, my number one thing was that I had been through Pokemon and Magic the Gathering by that point. I was in I wasn't even a high schooler. And by the time Yu-Gi-Oh started appearing on my periphery, I had tried a couple of others, but only just like one game here or there when it came to trading card games. And when it came to Yu-Gi-Oh, my brain just went, I can already see how much money I'll need to get a comprehensive amount of cards, and I simply do not have that much money. That was the reason I never even gave Yu-Gi-Oh a chance. I even tried that, what was it, Dragon Ball Z Afterworlds or Dragon Ball Z, whatever the trading card game was called. And that rule set's fucking bizarre. I don't get that, but it's cool that you put a Super Saiyan on a trading card. This is basically my full level of enjoyment there. So I guess we have to call our shot now. What flavor of Spam are we trying for next week? Is that
great value luncheon meat?
Oh, God damn it. I'm gonna have to get Tosh involved, because as much as I made the joke of aggro is going to be the treat defender, no, that's Tosh. We had Spam Musubi at a Hawaiian place, and they used treat, and both me and Bob were just like, what the fuck? And Tosh is like, I like it more. I'm like, God damn it. So we'll have to drag her into it. I wonder what sort of thing we can make with it though. There are many spam flavors. Yes, and we've chosen value. That's apparently what we're doing. Anyways, so I have successfully been the canary in the coal mine for PSVR 2 on PC. It is real. I have used it. I have used it 5 different times for an extended period of time each time. I have only done VR chat.
God damn it.
Dude, I've been fucking sick with COVID. I don't feel like standing and moving and spitting.
About it at all.
So the number one thing you need to know about PSVR 2 on PC, you better have a damn good Bluetooth dongle. And in case you didn't know, Bluetooth is a sham standard and a trap in the ground. You will die if you do not buy the correct thing. And it won't even take you to getting into the game. It seemed to me, at least. I tried that TP-Link dongle last week. It literally did not function at all. Not one bit. That thing didn't, like, Windows just kept going, there was a driver error. Like, you could right click into the hardware shit and see that it was saying that. So I did what I didn't really have a purpose in doing until this moment. I pulled out, and I wish it was easier to like hold up to the camera. Let me see if I can undo this tape. I think it looks kind of neat. My motherboard has built-in Bluetooth and coaxial-like connectors on the back to hook to an antenna that it came packed with. So on my desk, I have this little tiny, there you go. See that? Little tiny antenna that just sits there. And ever since I installed that, it's worked perfectly fine. So works on my machine. There you go. That's all I can offer you. It's PC gaming. If you have a bulletproof Bluetooth solution, seems to work perfectly fine. Aside from that, all you need is DisplayPort 1.4 and a free USB. I don't even think it needs to be USB 3.0. I can't remember, though. Check the spec sheet. Bluetooth is a nightmare fucking standard. What has been annoying is if I want to use my PSVR 2 on my PS5, I will have to pull out a USB cable, hook it up to that, resync it to that, and then when I come back to PC, go through the Bluetooth menu to resync it to that. It's not the worst, but it's annoying, and I don't like it. I wish it was more seamless.
See that.
Yeah, I don't like syncing shit on Bluetooth on PC to begin with. Doing that repeatedly if I'm taking round trips seems like later this year this will get annoying. Right now, not too relevant. There aren't any PSVR 2 games coming out right now, but even next month, there are PSVR 2 games coming out. We got a VR game showcase today, held by IGN, apparently, and some pretty good games were shown off. Of those 5 times in VR chat for extended hours, it was flawless, except twice it did this glitch, and I'm not sure if this is VR chat's fault for updating or if this is hyper specifically the PSVR 2. I'm willing to bet it's the PSVR 2. But what started happening is my body resonated at hypersonic speeds to put me in 5 superpositions around the entire map. So imagine I'm in this chill VR world, and the distance is a starry sky above the clouds. And as I look out in the horizon, I see 4 of me floating, staring back at me like death angels arriving to ring in the apocalypse. It was very unsettling.
Man, COVID's a hell of a thing.
It's a hell of a thing. Weirdly enough, my perspective didn't move 1 inch. I just get to see me in the distance staring back at me. Thank God it wasn't moving my perspective that fast. I would have vomited. But it did this for a very short period of time. All I did was rejoin that world I was in, and it fixed. The other time, it weirdly enough just ramped down the vibration until I started to become one person again. I don't know if this is going to happen with any other game. I don't know if that was a VR chat update, because they did a pretty big update recently. So I'm excited to find that out. I'm starting to feel well enough to do like even walkabout mini golf. So I'll probably be doing that tonight or tomorrow or something. I don't know. And then next week I get to let you know how this shit performs on things that aren't VR chat. But to explain the process of using it for people who like have no idea, there's a PlayStation VR 2 app. You boot that, you hook the headset into the box. That's $60. You sync your Bluetooth controllers to your PSVR Sense controllers to your Bluetooth dongle. You add it through the Windows shit, of course. And then once you do that, it will properly set up all of the OS level stuff you would experience on the PS5. So your room tracking, et cetera, set the height, whatever. And then in the future, you never have to do that again. You just boot that app, turn your shit on, boot the Steam VR, and then boot whatever game you're looking at. It's really seamless. There have only been slightly weird problems, which are discrepancies between how Sony views input on their controllers versus how Meta views inputs on their controllers. For example, in VR chat, you have to pull the trigger to start doing the gesture of whatever you want to do, the triggers on the controllers, to do those specific ends of the gestures. The PSVR 2, you touching the trigger will start to activate that at all. Like, it's that sensitive where it's just capacitative. And that's really fucking weird. There's a level of articulation there that just seems bizarre and above and beyond. The reduction in latency from using the Quest 3 wirelessly to this is pretty fucking massive, you know? When I turn, there's no like 20, 30 milliseconds of latency on the audio, or it's probably much larger than that, actually. And I'm excited to try out Beat Saber and Pistol Whip just to see. I think it's a really good experience. There is a chance that all the money I sunk into the Quest 3 will have effectively been wasted by this. Because, yeah, the visual quality is like drastically better. As I've mentioned before, the two main things with the Quest 3 when it comes to visuals is that because it's LCD based and it has a really low persistence display, all the black levels are like elevated to a very high gray. So you can't make out a lot of detail and a lot of texture and things because of that. Your network latencies or your network bandwidth is going to limit what your bit rate can be wirelessly because of that. And the lenses on the Quest 3, though, you can see sharper out of the corner of your vision because they are a pancake lens instead of a Fresnel lens. They have a lot of inner lens reflections. So any one bright light will have like at least 4 different reflections of itself within the lens, per eye. And that looks really bad and starts to muddy up the image a shitload. This is just a much better experience. So, I don't know. The Quest technically is getting some exclusives. So, it's not completely lost money, but kind of feels like it. Anyway, I assumed the fucking PSVR 2 on PC would be an absolute fucking nightmare. But it's been really functional. So I'm going to see how much it holds up over me trying a bunch of different games and etc. But it's been good. The only thing I can consistently say is a worse experience than using the Quest 3 is because of what I did with the room. I moved the couch into this room because I wasn't going to fucking work or stream or whatever for a week. So it didn't matter. Now it gets to be a normal living space. But this confused the shit out of the headset because that couch was not there when I set up the room. So it very consistently goes, dude, I have no idea where in this room you are. My periphery is mostly your desk. And then occasionally, like, if I lie down on the couch, it'll be like, my periphery is this couch. I have no idea where the fuck you are, man. So it will do this thing, and this is a Steam VR level thing, basically. It won't be able to track movement. So it'll track rotation and shit of the headset, but it won't track movement. This is a very mild problem. All you do is solve it by stepping away from your fucking desk. Or like turning your head at all. Or maybe you set up the fucking room while the couch is in it to begin with. But very minor problems. I'm surprised. I genuinely thought this was going to be a shambling corpse of a thing. I would be desperately praying to get it to work. Because it does look so much better when it comes to everything. That's it. Also, I now have a direct comparison of how motion blur looks on the PSVR 2 at 90 frames per second versus the Quest 3. Yes, the Quest 3 is sharper in motion. It really isn't enough to even merit noting. Like, it's there and you can see it, but it really is like the 240 hertz versus 480 hertz on a fucking monitor thing I was talking about 2 weeks past. It exists. You can definitely tell the difference. No, it is not worth a billion lens reflections and all the black levels being completely ruined because everything's grayed out. It truly, I thought it would be I thought when I got the PSVR 2 into VR chat and I would have apples to apples motion comparison, that it would just look bad. Also, there's, everyone's been making a big deal out of the the PSVR 2 on PC can't do HDR at all. So a lot of people were thinking so it wouldn't look good anymore. No, as it turns out, did you know OLED screens look good? A radical take coming from Dan Video Games for certain. But yeah, they just look good. That's what they do. Anyway, that's it. That is the end of the Dan tried out PSVR 2 on PC fucking coal mine segment. If you want, I think it's worth it, but you need to understand, you better make sure that you get like probably an Asus dongle. I've heard good things about the Asus dongle that's on that PlayStation site. The TP-Link was fucking garbage and worthless, and I need to return it. Who knows about the other two? Because one of them's Buffalo, which is a Japanese brand. And if the Asus works, why would you import that? But yeah, I can recommend it, weirdly enough. I didn't expect to be able to. At the end of all of this, I expected it to be, Dan spent money on a thing that didn't fucking work. And weirdly, this time it wasn't from the retro gaming hardware scene.
Huh.
But yeah, anyways, that's it for the PSVR 2 segment. Hey, we're going to move on to aggro because all I did over the last week was play. I did a small stream where I beat Donkey Kong Country 1, Crash 3, Spanky's Quest, and Tetris Attack on very hard mode. Yeah, those are fun video games. Hey, aggro, what you been playing?
I got to play Mixture after I bought it on sale last week.
Oh, cool.
This game is straight up a PS1 game.
Okay.
In both the cool polygon count and aesthetic, which is positive, and in the, hey, we just got access to 3D game making and aren't sure how to do it yet way.
I see.
So this is in the vein of Moss, where you are a character in the world looking down at a smaller character you're controlling with the thumbstick while your hands are doing stuff. That stuff, namely being creating alchemical mixtures and hucking them at stuff in the environment to cause effects. Or hucking them near stuff in the environment because the eye tracking didn't quite take just then, or it switched to a new target, or the eye tracking told you it was locked in and then the thing just fell out of your hand instead of going forward anyway.
Oh.
Yeah, this game's real cool. There's just enough parts of it that don't quite function. I need to play a lot more of it, but I'm currently stuck on a part where so you control this sick ass moth themed knight with a big scythe. Mm-hmm. And I've made my stance on scythes as weapons publicly clear several times. This one, however, does like the blade, it flicks up, so it looks like an actual war scythe sometimes, so we're giving it a pass.
Okay.
This character cannot jump.
Okay.
Those buttons are for other things. There are aerial enemies that, drop bombs on you. You've got to mix the glue thing, which you've got different materials in the environment. So you point your left hand at them, and there'll be like a VR light bridge. Like, oh, you're selecting this thing, and you draw the element in, and you carry like 6 of each, and you got to mix this one and this one to make the glue, and then this one and a third one to make the one that makes surfaces bouncy. It's a cool system. You hold the mixture button down, and the wheel pops up, and you move your hand to the like the circle pops up around your hand. You move your hand in a direction to hit that icon, and that fills your vial, and now you've got the thing, and you can throw it. Mm-hmm. I really wish that circle would show up at a different angle so I could see it. But I think that's just a matter of me learning to move my hand down before I hit that button. So I'm running around from 3 flying enemies on a small platform with 3 tiers. I can't jump, so the only way to get up tiers is to go toward an edge with the scratch marks on it so the character will auto-climb, which is a long-ass animation. A long-ass animation that is longer than it takes an enemy to see you, drop a bomb, and the bomb to explode. There are 3 of them. You've got to hit them with glue to get them to fall, and they'll be stunned for a little while, so you can run over and hit them with your scythe. Except the stun isn't as long as that long-ass ledge climbing animation. So I ran out of glue in the middle of this fight. I needed to look around the environment to get more materials, and I found one of them, and I picked them up. All the while I'm losing health because I'm looking around this 3D environment away from the small platform on which this fight is happening, and can't focus on dodging 3 enemies worth of bombs coming in at me. The other material I need to make the glue is somewhere. I think it was behind me, because as there aren't fixed camera angles. As the small character is moving through this 3D environment, you're leashing behind her. So if you want to move back to see something behind you without like turning all the way around physically, you have to move them back through the level past the center of you to leash you backwards far enough to be able to see the thing. Which I couldn't, so I ran out of glue and died again.
I'm sorry, this is just so funny because it's like the dumbest fucking reason to get roadblocked in a video game ever is the sentence, I ran out of glue. Like, this is arts and crafts child failure. What do you mean this is how the combat encounter's going?
Yeah, I just, multiple points in this game I've gotten, like, this is some PS1 ass, this is the first 3D game we made. We should have learned these lessons from someone else. But when it's working, it's really cool. And the world it's in is neat, and it looks really sweet. So I want to push through it and see if it gets better. But currently, I'm just a little bit heartbroken.
Understandable.
I was so distraught that I ended up immediately flipping over and finally finishing Sushi Ben.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I was thinking about playing Sushi Ben, because, you know, that's a bit more my speed while I'm sick.
Yeah.
How did that go?
That is a game that also is it just breaks down sometimes under its own weight.
No, it's true.
But is charming and endearing and really cool. And had a man, this I finally figured out what I was doing wrong with fighting the ghosts. Because they'll pop up and they'll throw shit at you, and you point the jar at them and you'll light the shit up. This was me being an idiot. I kept getting hit by the stuff it was throwing at me and getting stunned.
Yeah,
because I never realized that in a 3-dimensional environment I could move around to dodge the things.
Yeah.
I kept assuming I was supposed to hit them with the light fast enough to stop them all.
Yeah,
so that one's
fair.
on aggro.
I've heard from people that that Sushi Ben kind of tends to have a bit more crumple points in its tech as it goes on. Would you agree with that? Like the game seems a little bit less stable as it goes, because I know it's had a number of glitches in just the amount I've played, like audio stuff, and like it's easy enough to just reboot the game real quick, get right back to where you were.
Yeah, I've never had anything happen in it that forestalled progress. Every time something weird happened, it was like, oh, that was okay.
Yeah.
Like there was a small vignette in which I got to walk a Shiba Inu with a giant head. And that ended, and I went across town to do a thing, and I came back, and the Shiba Inu's leash was just sitting on the road. The rope just sort of ended, and it was still interactable. So I pointed my hand at it and pressed the button to pick it up, and the leash then appeared at about hand level, and my hand was attached to it, no longer responding to the inputs of my controller.
Oh.
So I just walked away from my hand until the hand and the leash snapped to some third point in the map, stretching the rope between them directly into a building. No idea where it defaulted to. I assume it's saved somewhere out of sight.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of small moments like that has happened to me. Just like tech stuff like that, and audio breaking.
Yeah, and like that kind of thing is endearing. Because it's not fucking you over.
Right. In that game, because of the structure of it and how much it autosaves and how easy it is to get back in, it doesn't cause any major problems. At least not in my experience.
But yeah, I got to plow my way through the last 2 or 3 hours of that. That game is really sweet. I forgot to look up, I think some character shows up near the end of that game, and I'm like, you, I think, are a reference to some other game that I don't get. Yeah. It ended with a to be continued. I don't know how that's going to go.
Yeah, it sounds like they don't know either.
You know if that flat screen version's out?
It is not out yet, as far as I know. Yeah, I think people are still anticipating that. The people who aren't VR pilled yet. Which is understandable, Maybe I know people who put on a VR headset and they just fucking sweat. Aggro, do you have that experience? Does it just like the moment you have a thing on your head, you just start sweating insanely, or?
Man, I have that.
I mean, okay. I sweat a lot in general, so. Like I VR directly under a ceiling fan with another fan pointed at me.
Oh yeah, this is relevant. I should have brought this up. The PSVR 2 head's microphone isn't terrible. It's not as terrible as Walkabout Mini Golf would have you believe when you play it online, but it's not good. So I actually did set up one of our many spare DBX 286S as audio processors, and I started using the lav mic they literally use on Red Letter Media shit to do fucking VR. So I'm like laved up as though I'm doing a talking head video. And yeah, that definitely sounds drastically fucking better, but the PSVR 2 mic is okay. It's serviceable. It's all right, I suppose. In my experience, though, I don't have the headset make me sweaty. This fucking couch, because this couch is the nicest thing we own. It's like I think it's actual leather. I don't know, but it's a really nice couch. It makes me sweat more than any VR headset ever. Like, if I sit on this thing long enough, I'm like, ugh, I'm covered in fucking sweat. Doesn't help that, you know, I'm in the garage with no insulation. Fucking nightmare zone. Yeah, so, Aggro, you bought Sushi Ben with money, correct?
Yes, that is how I acquire goods and services.
You have to pay for everything? That's depressing. But anyway, I was going to ask, so you having paid money for it and reached the end and got hit by the to be continued, do you feel like it was worth the price of entry? For you, specifically.
Yeah, like for me specifically, and that's what it is. Like I believe I expounded on the first time I talked about this game on Big Think, how this was an experience weaponized to leverage
emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's great.
to fuck you over with nostalgia for things that never happened to you.
Right. It's a powerful fucking experience, though, and they very much nail it. In that way, in the vibes way. It's very powerful vibes, that game. Yeah, I'm also under the impression, given how much it costs, that, like, would I be disappointed to see it to be continued? Yes, but do I think it's not worth the price of entry because of that? No. However, that is one of the world famous, yet again, situations where I have to hit the
game code provided by
the developer for me. So clearly, don't trust anything I say. I have no right to speak about Sushi Ben. Did you play anything else, Aggro?
I did not.
Okay. Hey, Chris.
Yes. I played virtually fucking nothing.
Okay. Well, then I have a question for you.
I did play like 20 minutes of Resident Evil 4 Remake VR.
Okay, well, real quick, we got to clarify. You mean Resident Evil 4 Remake's VR mode, because there's also the Quest exclusive Resident Evil 4 VR, right? Okay.
Yes.
Those are two bespoke fucking different things. How is the 4 Remake VR mode?
I played like 20 minutes of it because reloading was too hard.
Yeah, I was worried that would be a thing from the demo.
They really lean in. You know when John Wick is angrily reloading in that GIF that people post all the time?
Yeah.
That's you every second of RE4 Remake VR, except you're crying, not angry.
See, that
because
could be...
you have to you're the gun's in your right or whatever your dominant hand is. You have to look down, use your other hand to take the clip off your chest.
Oh, yeah.
Load it as if you're loading it similarly, like realistically, and then like there's like and while doing this, you're holding the side buttons because you have to hold the side buttons to grip things.
Right, yeah.
And then there's button presses involved in reloading. So I played like the first 20 minutes and I'm like, I can't, it's too hard. You can turn off the really difficult reloading in the options, but that's not true strength.
I enjoy that in other shooters, but I'm not sure that I would enjoy that as much in Resident Evil 4. I don't know. I would have to try it.
On paper, that sounds, amazing as a way to up the tension in some of those action sequences. In practice, I don't know if like the frustration would overcome the cool factor.
Yeah, to be blunt, it took me like 10 minutes in the tutorial to understand how reloading worked.
Yeah, I remember even Resident Evil 8 VR mode, which I assume is similar when it comes to gun stuff. Took me quite a while to figure out one of the gun's reloading mechanisms. I'm like, this is a fucking nightmare. How does this work? God, if only I was a gun nut, I would know, like, inherently, which part of this I need to do in what order. I think that was
wow. Yeah, I hadn't even considered that. Like
right?
if you don't already know how a firearm operates.
Like for the fucking shotgun, I was able to figure it out. It was able to eventually, oh, okay, this is how I thought it would work. It was hard to figure out how to get the hand to register and whatever. I think it was the sniper rifle or bolt action rifle where I was like, okay, I gotta slide this way and then pop it that way and then put in and then forward again, and it's like real.
It's like a stripper clip, isn't it?
Yeah, I think. Not sure on 8. Yeah, if you're looking for a really cool like VR shooter that's like high-end shit and really neat, Synapse was really cool for that. That's also the one with telekinetic powers and David Hayter in your brain. It doesn't have any of that gun nut reloading shit. It's distinctly not going for that. Did you have anything else you wanted to say on it, Chris?
No. Not really. I didn't nearly play enough. During September, for the record, just consider me on stream hiatus because work is kicking my ass. I will do things in September, though. In September, I want to do my play the 3 Holy Trinity build games plan, which are, if you don't know what that's, Duke Nukem 3D, Shadow Warrior, which we'll do first, so that we can go up. Only go up.
Mm-hmm.
And Blood. And there'll probably be a sub goal, which first will force me to play all the DLCs for those 3 games, or the expansion packs for those 3 games. Then it'll force me to play Death Wish, and if somehow we get too many, I'll have to play Redneck Rampage 1 and 2. Go play Blood. If you've never played Blood, go play Blood right fucking now. Go buy Blood Fresh Supply on Steam and just fucking play Blood. If you just start on Pink on the inside, because the difficulties are named from easiest to hardest. Still kicking, Pink on the inside, lightly broiled, well done, and extra crispy. And extra crispy is you're not supposed to play because that's the co-op mode. But play Blood.
I needed to look it up because so many of these Renaissance, like the newer ones, boomer shooters ended up with VR modes. I don't know how many of the older ones got it patched in.
God, there's no way Blood could have a VR. You'd puke so fast.
Yeah, exactly. I had to look it up just to be sure.
You, Caleb, the protagonist of Blood, feels like the most mobile FPS protagonist ever.
Could you imagine a fucking video game that was just a triathlon for these freaks? I'm just thinking about that. Be fucking good.
Amazing thing about Blood, if you don't know, one of the primary enemy types are cultists of the dark god Chernabog. They're sons of bitches, because they're the guys with hit scan weapons. And you got the brown one, which has a shotgun and throws single sticks of dynamite that isn't that dangerous if you're not close. Then you got the Tommy gun cultist, which can knock off 80% of your health in 2 seconds. But they speak in like a fake language, like a fake like Latin-esque language. They scream. It's almost like Resident Evil 4, where they scream similar things. Unless you use one of the many weapons in the game to set them on fire, in which case they shriek, "Oh God, it burns! It burns! It burns!"
That's really good.
Where's your dark god now?
Lots of weapons in Blood set people on fire, if you don't know, because you have the flare gun, which is like a damage over time, and if it kills them, they burst into flames. Then you have a can of hairspray and a lighter. You can also light the entire can of hairspray and throw it, and it causes a gigantic fire bomb. And then you have the napalm launcher, which is one of the greatest weapons in video game history, because it just shoots a flaming ball that it's a rocket launcher, but everything in the splash damage gets set on fire.
It's damn good.
But yeah, Blood is immaculate. It is possibly the best first-person shooter ever made. Until you're good at it, it will just brutalize you, but it's worth it. It is so much better than Duke Nukem 3D, or fucking Shadow Warrior isn't even worth mentioning in this conversation.
Right.
It is so much better. You will never play a better boomer shooter. Not ever. Oh, and I played like the first 4 maps of Legacy of Rust, the new Doom episode in that upgraded edition that Night Dive did.
Yeah.
So, whatever difficulty you play Doom on for that episode, go one lower. Because I pick up a rocket launcher in the second map of Legacy of Rust, and 45 cacodemons and 8 revenants spawn. And like 15 pinkies. And I'm like, this is level 2.
And what difficulty were you on?
I was on whatever the medium skill is, not ultraviolence, the one below that.
Jesus Christ.
They made a lot of new assets for it. Some of them which just feel wrong, like chairs. it doesn't feel right to see chairs.
Yeah, you're like,
Doom map.
This is wrong. Everyone in Doom has to stand. What the fuck?
It has like a weird pseudo build engine game vibe to it. But yeah, that's all I played. Didn't have time to play much else.
Yeah, so sorry everyone. This is a little baby big thing. I did play Unicorn Overlord. I'm about 9-10 hours in. You're not going to hear anything you haven't heard already on Big Thing to mention. This game's fucking gorgeous. It's really great. I love the immediacy of combat. It's really cool that they have these tactics and things set up for these moves and stuff. They have interesting equipment that allows you to do fucked up shit. I enjoy it immensely. I love that it's immediacy in how it plays out. Feels like they took a Fire Emblem and made it more Advance Wars like. That is how my brain takes it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really fucking good. I love making a unit that's just here to dismantle knights.
Yeah, specialization is really good feeling.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Also, the Valor Point move system is super fucking dope. It's really good to just have a sorceress on the team with fucking Joseph, who's just like, we're going to teleport over there and end them right now. If there's one thing that I wish wasn't there, which seems ironic given the thing I just said, maybe Joseph, because he's so strong. That man is unhinging the difficulty at the beginning of this game and just going, no, none of this matters. I'll simply snap it away. But aside from that, I've been having a great time. I did not anticipate how it would feel to engage with the world map and structure of the game, where you just free walk anywhere to grab all these collectibles and things, engage with the different towns. Weirdly enough, watching the trailers for this game, I assumed the movement was a little bit more like a tactics, an ogre battle, when it came to the world map stuff of send your guy to this way and he'll walk there instead of you just having direct control with the controller. Really great game. I've been staring at the card game I got with this edition. Somebody needs to put that card game into Tabletop Simulator so that way I can play it with people online. But aside from that, that's all I've been playing. Cobbler.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck?
Oh, is that you, Pablo? Yes, that's right. The Podlords. Podlords such as BN12, Red Blaze 27, Suzushiro. Rado has been trapped in hell for the foreseeable future. Send help! We can't help you, I'm sorry. 101 Shades of Wonderful Remastered. WTF, Spider-Man. One moment. Nope. Okay. He's smirking. DFW3K. Oh, I see that you didn't like my movie. That's fine. Cool, cool. What's your home address? Just wanted to talk to you.
Good God.
Shiny Mew. Chris C. Juicifrost has a working car and an Adderall prescription. Start running. Wait.
Hell yeah.
Start running has a very different vibe when you're behind the wheel of a car.
Also Floridian.
I lied. I'm not a Podlord. We're playing Katawa Shoujo. Out now on Steam. Cooper Tank. Mr. Plan. I hate this. This is rancid. I don't like any part of this at all. You hear me?
Oh my God.
Come on. Come on.
Mr. Mime was bad enough to deal with visually. Jesus Christ. Indigo Sykes. Luigi.jpg. They gave her white ink. Congratulations to Fry and Team Rice on your Splatfest win. That many people a big fan of Rice. Yeah, this is pretty popular. Certainly no ulterior motive. Do I get paid enough for this? I don't. Hey there, Conky! What's today's secret word?
Vile.
Yeah. A raccoon just sitting there.
God damn.
This is photoshopped, I can tell.
Unrealistic standards.
Unrealistic standards. Even Microsoft killing me cannot stop the plan. This. Where does it end? Where?
Was having half your game cut part of your plan?
Yes. You don't know that it wasn't Uryu.
When do we get like the CIA guy from The Dark Knight Rises like arguing with Jinkaria? When do we get like Ichigo doing that pose?
Jesus Christ. They've already started putting up Halloween stuff at my store. I guess it's now officially spooky month.
We were fucking talking about this before we went live.
Yeah, and I gathered Podlords. I did not bring it up. Just to be clear, this is a very universal thing that's occurring. It's fucking a month and a half early.
Yeah. It's a retail store. It's not your neighbors. They're going to put holiday stuff out early to sell more of it. It's fine.
No bit. Check out these cool drawings I made at work today. Now see, finally a wholesome Jinkaria here in the Podlords. He's just Jinkaria, and honestly, he's adorable. This is like Jinkaria who's much too confident.
Timer-chan. I don't know who that cat is supposed to be. I really like Dobo Phil Spencer.
Dobo Phil Spencer is really good.
Let me tell you, the games are free if you give me $20 a month.
You tried to explain to Satya Nadella the Game Pass paradigm. I tried once and woke up 8 hours later. Sarah Lean, Timothy Pfister, Bearded Joe, Krunglespum, Pleochrome. Those crazy bastards at Wizards finally printed Indicate. What the fuck am I looking at? What the fuck am I looking at?
Target permanent.
You.
God damn it. What?
$54 for a 5-pound bag of cinnamon-flavored Gorilla Biscuits. It's a fucking bargain. Thanks for the heads up, Chris. Don't.
We getting swole out here.
I'm pretty sure the conversation. Well, one moment. What? This fucking gorilla. Are you?
Motherfucker.
No! God damn it! Motherfucker!
When does it end?
Never! When chugging bleach is over, the timer can begin on them forgetting.
Oh, thank God.
It will take at least a year, but it will happen.
We're racing for your better mental health, viewers. We're so sorry.
Until we force aggro to watch the Bound Arc, and they never go away after that.
I lived, bitch. This is so immediate and karmic in its feeling, this news. Whatever, we're gonna have to talk about it in like 10 minutes anyways. Power! Ah! Incredible power! Ah! I don't know what this is. I might be better off not knowing what this is.
I don't think I can help you.
And yet it's not the most troubling in this couplet of Podlords.
Oh, that's
Oh, go ahead.
That's a character from the webcomic artist Zugoya's one of their manga. It is the main heroine's mother. She is, I think, 8 feet tall and nicknamed Hydra.
I see. Just got coupons for Fazoli's. Pizza baked spaghetti, anyone? No!
What the fuck is this shit? Why is Fazoli's like a restaurant that came from 1982?
Right?
Like, we have actual Italian food now. We're past that part where you can be a restaurant that's like, here's what a bunch of white guys think an ethnic food is like.
It's fucking insane how bad Fazoli's is. I would say more, but I should just edit the fucking review while I'm sick and get that up for y'all to watch. There's a moment at the end where I wonder if Fazoli's isn't the worst fast food place in America. Alexander.
Pretty good.
He's got some good energy.
You're not Alexander.
Sleepy. Bleach Gags on vacation. Back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Stardust Dragon!
Man, Stardust Dragon was so fucking good for a while. For a long while, because they kept fucking printing shit to make him better. But he's like so totally outclassed by modern shit.
This is a cool dragon. Oh, and
he has big tits.
He does. 2003 Final Fantasy fan argument. Thank you very much to our Podlords.
Thank you, Podlords.
Thank you, Podlords.
Thank you, Podlords!
And if you'd like to become a Podlord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to many benefits, such as early access to Chugging, Bleach, and Pokemon Go to the movies. You better hop on that Pokemon benefit. It ain't going to be around too much longer. You also get other content, such as extended gamer premonitions. Go check out the ones for Switch 2. And Armchair Devs returning very soon, possibly next month. You also get an entire movie called Isolation 119. This is not a joke or a bit. It is a full feature-length film about a man going to Thailand to get a tax break on his vacation to Thailand. You also fund a patron-exclusive show. Well, a patron-funded show one a month. Either a private show for patrons only, where we talk and discuss a good thing, most recently Krull, or where we watch and discuss publicly a bad thing, such as the movie Fanboys. That's just an example, not real yet.
Yes.
And whatever bad thing we watch, we'll have a private commentary track on the Patreon. That's patreon.com/gbpodcast. And if you don't have any money, it always helps immensely to spread the word. Rate us on Thursdays, retweet our going live announcements, and leave a comment and subscribe if you listen on YouTube right now. Patreon.com/gbpodcast.
So we got news. Let's talk about it. This is going to be the most minor news of the week, I feel like, but I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. Wushu Studios is acquired by Keyword Studios. Most people don't know who the fuck Wushu is. They made Destruction All-Stars. They were making the Twisted Metal game before Bungie said, "This is soy, cancel it." Actually, no, they were making it until Firewalk, I believe, started making it, and then Bungie showed up. Anyway, other things they did development assistance on Forza Horizon 5, State of Decay 2, Baldur's Gate 3, The Ascent, and Fall Guys. Wushu Studios, they were acquired by Keyword Studios. Turns out Keyword Studios seems to be some large conglomerate of development assistants. So they literally just got ate by a larger company that does more development assistance. So we will, I think, rather conservative estimate here, we will never see an original game from Wushu again, it feels like. So they are now just development support studio, the studio, a part of bigger studio. That is sort of it for news for me. We will jump to aggro for now.
Cast your mind back to 2014. Gamescom. There's an announcement trailer for a game by a new studio called Wild Sheep Studios, founded by, and his name is French, so I'm going to fuck it up, Michel Ancel?
Mm-hmm. That's the Rayman and Beyond Good and Evil guy.
Yes. It is called Wild. I went and looked this trailer up because I'm like, I have no idea what this is, and started unlocking the memory of it as it went on. So yeah, that game was announced in 2014. Ansel retired from video games in 2020 to work at a wildlife sanctuary.
Yep.
And when he retired, I think we covered it on Big Thing. When he retired, he was like, yeah, Beyond Good and Evil 2 and Wild. Both those projects are still in good hands.
They're perfectly fine. Mm-hmm.
Stephen Hide? Heide in French? No idea.
No idea.
The current creative director at Wild Sheep has confirmed in a Twitter reply that, to quote, "Unfortunately, all we can say is that we are no longer actively working on it."
I'm sure Beyond Good and Evil 2 will be fine. I'm sure that game's just chugging along. They just referenced it in that new release. They definitely didn't do that years ago.
Look, Beyond Good and Evil 2 is going to be fine because Bob and I streamed it. And look how well that worked for Mario and Luigi. Holy shit. And Paper Mario, weirdly enough. What a fucking weird...
Are we giving you two credit for Tango?
Yes, that keeps happening. As an objective statement, people are giving us two credit for Tango. They said it was impossible, and that it still happened.
Since I played Redfall, are they just gonna are they gonna somehow dig up Arcane Austin and shoot them again?
That's a good question. I love the notes back here. It's like, do you remember Wild being announced at Gamescom 2014? Of course you don't. Dan might. He's a genetic trailer freak. So here's the thing. We're in a stream. It's in the last 2 years. I don't know when. Wild comes up. And I'm like, yeah, that's a Michelle Ancel game. I remember, like, that was, yeah, it showed a bunch of, like, sort of like almost tribal prehistoric sort of hunting and spiritualism and wild stuff. Wildlife, yeah. Bob and all of chat goes, nah, the only reason people remember that is because there's a big lady in the trailer. And I go, what? Because I did not remember this in the fucking least.
I
was
am
like,
looking at this trailer. Man, anybody who's like, PS3 games didn't look any different from modern games, go look at the animations in this trailer.
Yeah,
in the trailer that is supposed to be like to wow you. Look at how these humans move.
So I had to, after this conversation on the stream, go back and watch the trailer. And sure enough, for one shot, there is a big lady hiding in a tree. This glanced off of my brain entirely. All I ever remembered was wolves, spear hunting, and magic. But yes, there is a big lady who's a goat lady, seemingly. She has, like, the horns. At least I think that's what that is.
Mm-hmm. I mostly remember this trailer for containing a skeleton just hanging out, and it didn't seem to explain why.
I know, that was like, upon rewatching it, the part that I was surprised I forgot was there is a skeleton hanging out, and under the ocean there is a fucking gigantic skeleton, like on a throne, and that looked cool as shit. But no, I apparently remembered wolves, running, spear hunting, sort of caveman dude, and a lady. I did not remember the big lady. Apparently that was stupid of me, and I apologize to chat that day. Yeah, that game. First off, I forgot that was a Sony joint. I always forget this. I always forget that was a Sony Computer Entertainment IP. Yep. So I guess they got the joy of trying to let Michelle Ancel make a game for them. This is where I remind everyone, Beyond Good and Evil took 4 fucking years and cut like 80% of what it was supposed to be by the end. And that was in the PS2 era. Who even knows how bad it was now?
So, Antstream Arcade, who you might know as being the first third-party video game streaming service to be allowed into iOS after Europe took a tire iron to their ankles.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've been on Xbox since last year. They are going to be on PlayStation soon, they say.
So, if I'm not mistaken, this is the thing where it's retro video games presented in an arcade format. It's licensed from all sorts of different people, but it's just, you stream it, right?
Yeah, it's just shovels and shovels of old, like, I'm looking at the system list here on their website.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Amiga, Amstrad, Arcade, Atari 8-bit, Atari 2600, Atari 7800, C64, DOS, Game Boy, Atari Lynx, Genesis, MSX, NES, PS1, SNES, ZX Spectrum, MSX2, Atari 5200.
I hope him saying ZX Spectrum activated some British person. I really hope that happened. I think that's important.
Yep. You know, it's game streaming. It's $39.99 a year or $99.99 for lifetime access. All I know is, look, I had brought this in to be a little bit dismissive and scornful about it, but I was scrolling through the list and they've got Wampum. Dan, they have Wampum.
It's just, I can't.
The NES game?
Uh-huh.
That game's good.
Yeah, it is.
Is his sign up for a cloud service good? I feel like
probably not.
I feel like this
they've
is
got Glover on the PS1.
Oh, that's the version that anybody should ever play.
Yeah, weirdly enough, that version's way easier and better.
I think there are 2 or 3 versions of Worms on here.
I would be surprised if there were only 2 or 3 versions of Worms. Oh man, I don't know. I feel weird about like when it comes to buying shit. By and large, my opinion is if it's 20 years old, who fucking cares, right? Just download it all. Fucking whatever. So the thought of paying monthly, right? Or even yearly, or even paying the big sum once to have it streamed to you with like worse image quality because pixelized graphics don't compress well, right? Like live action video compresses much better than video game graphics, and video game graphics of that era compress even worse than modern video game graphics by and large. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Because of line scrolling and DMA techniques. It feels weird to be like, oh joy, a streaming service for something we should all just have inherited culturally because we can't play these games on modern systems for free.
This is not like their website talks about like preservation. Like this is not game preservation. That this is not you continuing the legacy of these titles. I don't imagine that any of this money is going to anyone who made these. You have invented a way for people to pay for things that they could just go to the dump and get for free.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's really weird because in the case of like movies and other things, those came on formats that were standardized players. Video game consoles keep reinventing themselves, which causes backwards compatibility to be more difficult. So, in my opinion, the laws around that should reflect that better, and anything that shipped on the PS2 should be a forfeit to be public domain. But, you know, anyway, that obviously is complicated. Anyway, let's move on to the next news. I'm going to have to pull up a picture of this shit.
So in further stories of things I'm not going to say you shouldn't spend your money on it, but that's only because you didn't ask me.
You should be jailed if you buy this.
So the Roto VR, they put out a chair, a very special chair that was designed for Meta.
For Meta?
Meta.
For like Meta Quests? That's
the implication, but the logo just says designed for Meta. It's a chair with some foot pedals, like a barber chair, kinda. You put the 3D headset on, you put the dongle on the top strap, and when you turn your head far enough to the right or left, the electric motor in the chair swivels the chair. Oh wow. That's
This is the even more involved edition that costs a shitload of money.
Oh, that's like a whole different
Jesus.
thing.
That is fucking insane. Let me show them the more basic version. I don't even see the head strap on this one though.
Yeah, no, you're looking for the Roto VR Explorer.
Explorer. Okay, one moment. Let me make sure. Oh my god. Okay, so holy fucking shit, man. So, okay, chat, I'm going to need you to lower your standards just a little bit from the image on screen. Just a smidge, okay? So Aggro, how much is this tiny bar stool?
That thing is $800.
Why is it $800?
Because it hooks up to
because if you buy
several different VR headsets. To accomplish a task. It's a fucking swivel chair.
It is!
Put your feet down and tiptoe to the left.
I cannot fucking believe this is $800. That is more than twice the cost of the chair I'm in, which is a very well-made, full-size premium chair. What the fuck?
I mean, I understand if you don't think that's a viable value proposition. Don't worry, Dan. Coming soon for an undisclosed amount of money, is the Roto VR Explorer Pro, which has armrests and a few more of those ladder layers and a head circle.
So, okay. One moment. I have a diagram here. We can get some explanations. We can get it directly from the horse's mouth. One moment. Okay, here we go. Oh, wow, it's got rumble in the seat. That's incredible. That's very important. Well, it can charge. It can charge the headset, so that way your Quest 3 stays charged for more than 2.5 hours. This is fucking $800. I cannot get over this. Also, we got to talk about this for people who don't do VR shit. If it turns when I turn my head, that will make me vomit. Like, I cannot imagine a world in which that doesn't fuck me up.
Yeah, it that seems to be the opposite of how you're supposed to fucking do that.
Yeah, I don't... Like, you're now inventing a physical implement of the thing game devs constantly try to avoid, of accidentally turning the player, right? You've now made it so the chair just does that all the time. There's no way this is good. God, it...
Like, the first time I looked at it, I saw the footrests and thought, oh, that's your paddle switch for turning the chair.
Right.
So at least you're still in control of doing it. I mean, you could just remove that and I could reach my foot all the way to the floor.
Uh-huh.
Just swivel myself around there.
So, Chris, are you getting this?
No.
I'm an absolute fucking VR freak, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, one, holy shit, what a terrible value. Two, this just seems like it would make me vomit, and I have really good tolerance for this sort of thing.
You know how high quality of a sex swing I could get for $800?
Yeah, and that would be way more helpful in VR. I genuinely, I don't. When this comes out, if you're a viewer of ours, throw it in the fucking VR channel when someone does a review. I need to see the review where the dude spent $800 on a bar stool. That seems way too fucking funny. Jesus. One moment. I got like a thumbnail for the promo video for this specific device. I want to see how cool this looks. One moment. The dude on the right doesn't even seem like he's all for this. He's like, you bought this shit? Like, that's not a good look for your thumbnail. Anyway, let's move on. That's the end of your news, right, Aggro?
Yes.
Then the era of Chris has begun.
Okay, so Bakeru, that successor to Goemon, is coming stateside. September 3rd. So you have like 2 weeks.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
The publisher over here is Spike Chunsoft.
That game looked really cool. It's made by former Goemon devs. I believe Feel Good is the name of the developer. Or Good Feel. I think it's Good Feel. Anyway, yeah, that shit's coming out in just barely over 2 weeks. It is coming to Steam as well as Switch. Unfortunately, the Steam trailer is still made from Switch footage, so we don't know how that's going to look. Yeah, I'm really excited for this. I'm sure Bob would be expressing interest if he was here. Apparently, the US version is going to have some improvements over the Japanese one, including new content like new boss and re-implementation of how certain mechanics and things work. So this is important for Game of the Year, I think. We'll see.
Krafton, owners of PUBG, acquire Tango Gameworks and HiFi Rush. They did not seem to get the other two Tango IPs, Ghostwire Tokyo and The Evil Within, which makes sense. Microsoft would be like, it's our Resident Evil. We killed the studio that made it, but maybe we'll fucking make it ourselves sometime.
Developer, no, go away. Stop costing money. I need to sit and gaze into my IPs until they generate market dominance.
What's that smiling friend's bit? It's my IP to sit on and do nothing with.
Yeah. No, that's the current playbook over there. It's going great.
I said this on Twitter and pissed off some Xbox guys. Do you ever think about how the yen is so fucking weak right now? An American company can run a studio in Japan super fucking cheaply. and Microsoft still shut them down.
Yeah, it made no fucking sense for them to shut them down from a financial angle. They literally did it just to fit in, it feels like. There can be no other incentive.
This is getting slightly off topic, but that same phenomenon I realized is probably why every Japanese studio was outsourcing in 7th gen, because the yen was super fucking powerful.
Yes, that is a really core part of that, because development in like Eastern European countries or even the West in general is so much cheaper than it was in Japan, and they looked at how next gen development required so many fucking people to make games. Yeah. Sometimes
but yeah,
it went well.
That's good. They promised that they would be making a HiFi Rush 2, and since Microsoft isn't publishing it, it'll probably get to be a complete game.
That'd be nice. I can't remember, because Krafton being the owners of PUBG means they're also responsible for
the Callisto
Protocol, which begs the question, wasn't that kind of hot when it came in? Was that the issue?
That seemed to have problems. Like, somebody was like, yeah, they ripped out it being part of the PUBG universe like 3 months before it came out. Here's all the scars you can see through the story and in the game of that being the case.
That's so fucking weird. How bizarre. Anyways, I hope for the best here, because HiFi Rush was good. It just should have been finished. And also shouldn't have been as long, but it was a good game. I like when I spammed against the final boss and won. Anyways, continue.
Yeah. Dragon Age: The Veilguard launches on Halloween. October 31st is Halloween, right? Or is it the 30th?
31st.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it launches on Halloween.
Which is a Thursday.
Ooh.
Well, that is when games come out now. Excited for the Dragon Age Veilguard spoiler cast.
I am also incredibly excited for that. I feel like, Aggro, are you also excited for that?
I'm excited for when you go live on November 1st. It's like, here, Bob, you play the action RPG made by BioWare that has Arkham dodging.
Yeah, well, everyone here is excited for it, so I guess all of Big Thick is excited for the Dragon Age
Bob's
Veilguard
arms
spoiler.
start dissolving like Soy Fonz when she got hit with the death gas.
Holy shit. Yeah, I'm genuinely thrilled for Dragon Age Veilguard. Halloween's a weird day to launch a game. I don't know. That isn't Castlevania, I guess. I don't know. I wonder how many games have launched on exactly on Halloween ever.
Probably a lot more nowadays. Well, I guess it depends on what day it is. Like, this is just on Halloween because that's when games come out now.
Yeah, Thursday, yeah.
Exceed and Marvelous announced a new corporate structure. Marvelous USA will publish Marvelous games, and Exceed will publish third-party games that they have the publishing rights to. Whoa.
That means a diminishing amount of Exceed games I will play, because I'm pretty sure most of them were Marvelous games.
Yeah, I really do think we're heading towards there just not being any, like, we localize games. That's all we do. Like, we localize these games for these. I feel like just every single one of them is going to be, we're the English branch of this publisher. If maybe we do things for also do things for the really small Japanese developers.
Yeah, it's weird to think that, because Exceed brought over a lot of stuff in years past.
Yes,
it's really weird to think that maybe that's going on.
They were the Falcom guys before Nisa became the Falcom guys.
Yeah, they also brought over things like Retro Game Challenge and a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, they did a lot. It's I don't know. It feels weird. It feels weird and concerning to enter an era where maybe the standalone localization studio developer isn't as strong. I hope they find enough work anyway. Because yeah.
So Meta was making GTA San Andreas VR.
I didn't even know that. Did you, Aggro?
I, like, when it was mentioned, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a thing they said, and I filed away under sure.
Plausible. It's fucking Mythbusters over here.
Anyway, it's on indefinite hiatus, which means it's fucking canceled. It's over. It's done.
Cool announcement.
I don't know how you thought you were going to make that, to be perfectly frank.
Yeah.
Like, so much, first of all, so much of San Andreas kind of does revolve on it being a third-person game where you have awareness. Can you imagine doing that fucking that RC helicopter mission in first person?
Yeah, I
Can you imagine doing the train mission in first person?
Right, I'm trying to imagine even aside from that, the scale of that game made in a fidelity that Meta Studios could create and that they would feel confident shipping is such a hard thing to imagine. And then on top of that, yeah, these moments like, can you imagine chasing the fucking train?
At least it'd be really funny
don't make
to be
it
in
first person. Just do the Moss-like thing. Just put the camera up there and let me be the camera.
For some reason, everyone's afraid of that. I don't know why.
Yeah.
At least it'd be funny to be in the car when they were giving the famous fast food order.
Right. See, that's what you really want. You want the cinematic moments like that. You want to be in the car.
And finally, Nicolas Cage will play John Madden in a John Madden biopic titled Madden that is also inexplicably about the game Madden.
I
don't want to use the word maddening to describe that sentence, but
Dan is going to make me watch this, which isn't okay.
No, it's good actually. Do you have any familiarity or fondness towards American football, like at all? No. Aggro, you with me?
I'm neutral to positive on it, except for all the concussions.
Yeah, except for all the concussions. Yeah, same.
I need to do the AVGN, but where I don't know anything about football. I'm a fucking nerd.
I hate that I'm interested in this because Nicolas Cage is possibly the worst casting in human history for John fucking Madden.
But I mean, like, that's why you want to go see it, though, right?
I kind of would have been interested elsewise anyways if they got a good actor.
Every time someone's like, why the fuck would Nicolas Cage be in that? I don't care. Nicolas Cage decided to be in it.
Nicolas Cage will do anything.
I want to go see it.
You paying money?
I'm trying to think who would be my peak casting for John Madden. It's unfortunate because in my brain it always is like, and he's passed some years ago, but the amazing actor Philip Seymour Hoffman would have been peak John Madden for me for a biopic, right? Because of what those are. That would have been fucking incredible. That would have been the peak, but now it's Nicolas fucking Cage? Okay, sure. I wonder where Bob's gonna come in on this. Because Bob has no familiarity or fondness for fucking football. Maybe is there a trailer for this? Or was this just announced, Chris?
This is just announced. There's not a trailer.
Damn. I need to know the sort of tone they regard the game in, right? Where it's just like, is it John Madden being like, you can't put my name on this. This is a piece of shit. Make a better game. And then them having to go do that.
Looking at them side by side, I can almost see what they were going for with the casting. Let me just link the tweet that put them next to each other.
Okay, sure.
Like, I can see it a little bit.
It's eyebrows? Is that it? Is that what you're seeing?
I think they have kind of similar noses also.
Let me get this out onto the fucking stream overlay. One moment. Are we gonna work? No, because fucking Twitter put _large at the end of it. Our good friend Windows Sound joined us for this episode. That was close. Anyways, I don't see it at all. I cannot. Maybe I will regret my words and deeds when I watch this movie and I'm moved to tears by Nicolas Cage playing John fucking Madden.
You better believe it. Nicolas Cage will make up that gap.
I'm struggling.
I mean, Nick Cage will probably be bad in this, because it has a bad director, and Nicolas Cage will just do exactly what you tell him to do. He's like a horrible mirror that brings nothing himself. If you give him direction, he will do exactly what you ask.
He acts like a service employee works. It's like, here you go. This is why you fucking ordered it, man. Don't talk to me. Also, and I'm sad that Bob wasn't here to deliver the news himself. I know he was elated to find this out. Monster Jam is getting a movie with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So, Monster Jam is a monster truck show that started in the 90s, and they kept making video games for it. So Bob, working at GameStop, has just had to see boxes come and go regularly that were Monster Jam. So the notion of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson being a movie based on Monster Jam is a little insane. At the same time, though, wasn't he in... Oh, God, what was it? Based on that video... Rampage? Wasn't he in Rampage? Yeah, it's like... Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in my head just can be in fucking the most bottom tier garbage. But who knows? Maybe those will be hype as shit. I mean, maybe you'll have Fast and Furious vibes. Who knows? Who knows? All I know is I know literally nothing about the games they made based on this. Has anyone here ever even fucking seen the box? I did at Bob's job, but...
I feel like I've seen monster trucks on video game boxes, but I don't think I would have recognized it.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking generic, especially now. I feel like back in the Wii era, it maybe popped a little more iconic of a look, possibly, is the way I would describe it. Where, you know, that is some Wii-ass shovelware, but at least it's got cartoony aesthetic, and it pops. Now it looks like 10 million other, like, Monster energy drink branded off-roading sort of look to it. Yeah. Is this... Excuse me. Steam is showing me something. I need to... Okay. THQ Nordic apparently owns the rights to this. Got it. Monster Jam Steel Titans 2 is on Steam right now. Is that a sale? No. It is $30. Man, now I'm going to have to play the game in order to know how good the movie is in comparison.
So Dan, now that you have PSVR 2 on PC, are you going to get really into one of those trucking simulators?
I actually really enjoyed our time playing American Truck Simulator with Jim Ratgazer, and both Euro Truck Simulator and American Truck Simulator have beta support for VR. So I'm thinking about it. Because those games are weirdly really soothing and enjoyable. But then I might get crazy and buy a wheel. That's expensive shit. I can't afford that. I'm buying an $800 stool. There was a VR game showcase today. I thought they had some pretty strong games being shown. They're making a VR version of RoboQuest, if you know what that is. It's a roguelike first-person shooter. Looked pretty good. I was pretty sad that I did not have time to play it in time for Game of the Year last year. They're doing a VR version of Flat Out, which is weird.
Yeah, that looked cool.
It did look really fucking tight, and it made me feel better since, you know, they canceled fucking the Twisted Metal game. Also, Wrath Eon of Ruin. I was going to ask you, Chris, if you played that boomer shooter at any point?
No, I did not.
Oh, and they're doing Trombone Champ in VR. There are also a bunch of other games. I was surprised by how many games were also on PSVR 2, given its reputation as a completely dead platform. It seemed like a lot of the stuff here was announced for it. For the exclusives just to MetaQuest, it looks like we have Fracked, Hitman 3 VR, and I think that's it for just MetaQuest. No, also Action Hero, which Action Hero could be good. I need to know the structure of that game. Because if they did it right, it's like Stuntman, but for first-person shooting, which is kind of what it pitched itself as. Also, technically, because I don't know if we're going to rate Pico as an important VR platform, Escaping Wonderland, which is apparently the sequel to, what was it, Down the Rabbit Hole, Aggro?
Yeah.
Which is looking like a cool puzzle game where you guide Alice out of this hellscape. That looked pretty cool, and that's exclusive to Quest, at least for now. But yeah, there were a lot of cool things shown in that showcase. It's an IGN VR showcase that came out today. Looked pretty promising. I was interested in Silent Slayer because it seemed to be a puzzle box coffin for all of these vampires where you have to defuse the situation correctly, and if you fuck up, the vampire wakes up and murders your ass.
Yeah, like it looks really cool. I am worried about a game that relies on whether or not your VR controller believes you're holding your hand still. Like, I need to see what the tolerances are on that.
Yeah, we both had that thought of, I'm going to buy this game and I'm going to be still, but then something's going to fuck up or it won't be still enough and I'll just lose every time at this puzzle box. Fucking awesome. Yeah. Weirdly enough, the only PSVR 2 exclusive here was Into the Radius, which I thought looked neat, but I would need to see more to know for sure. Anyways, that all looked pretty cool. That's it for news. Shortest big think of our lives. It is under 2 hours. I don't think it's been this short since 2020. What a throwback.
Yeah, damn.
Hey, Chris, what do you got going on in the... Oh, wait, you just said.
Bleeding.
I could stream tomorrow. I streamed earlier this week and it was fine, but I've decided, I'm just going to rest. I will probably stream Sunday, so keep an eye out for a Sunday stream of some sort. Or maybe I'll go live at a random hour you won't expect, just because I want to. You know, who knows when the craving to beat Crash 3 again will hit me. Chris, I need to spread my Spanky's Quest propaganda. When are you streaming that? Because I can't be the only human who streams Spanky's Quest.
You have more vulnerable victims in your orbit than me. Put your hand in this pain box. It's an old retro game.
It's not a pain box. It's very good, actually.
I swear, that still sounds and looks like the most made-up video game in history.
Especially if you're looking at the fucking American title card art.
Isn't it some kind of weird puzzle game?
Yeah, it's a puzzle platformer. In Japan, it's like named Monkey Reflections.
I'm gonna get confused and stream Toki.
You'll be like, this game fucking sucks, Dan. Jesus Christ, develop taste. And I'll be like, no, that wasn't the right monkey game. No. But yeah, that's it for this episode of Big Think Dimension. You will all remember the episode where Bob was sick. No news happened. I barely played anything because I was sick. And the same applied to Chris because he was busy as hell. Acker, why didn't you play 8 games in time for this Big Think?
You know, I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Oh, no, right. I have rent to pay, so I have another job.
Oh, right. Rent. Right. Yeah. Anyway, that's going to do it for this Big Think Dimension. See you all later. Bye. Thank you very much for listening to this episode of Big Think Dimension. Big Think Dimension is only possible because of you and your support over at patreon.com/gbpodcast, where you can get early access to Pokemon Go to the Movies, Chugging Bleach, exclusive access to Blessed Blontent Blub and Cursed Commentary tracks, and also the movie Isolation 119. That's patreon.com/gbpodcast.